So that picture that I grabbed from your Facebook is you catching what looks like a smallmouth bass somewhere. Where do you fish?
I fish all over Idaho, mostly. So everything from the Owyhees, down on the Indian reservations, all the way up, north. So depending on the time of season, I try and follow the cool weather. So if it's hot down
Yeah.
here, it is actually today's nice, but most days I'm heading out, going somewhere. But I do catch a lot of bass out of the Boise River, amazingly enough, in
Oh,
town.
really?
Yep.
And you're not catching those on flies. Do you top water or where are you getting that?
Yeah, so I'm usually targeting bigger fish out of the Boise River. So if I'm fishing flies, they're big streamers, but most of the time it's Rapalas or something that's like imitating a 6 to 8 inch fish.
And you're
So
looking for spots on the banks that aren't moving as much, right? Maybe something up near a tree or overhang or something like that
yep, yeah. Well, I want fast water actually. So
for
I'm
bass.
looking for fast deep water for
Oh, okay.
smallmouth bass. So
For smaller bass.
what they're doing is stuff's going by them. They want the most opportunity to hit things going by them. So they're
Oh,
coming into that fast water and pulling minnows out.
oh, that's super cool. So anyway, welcome. Happy Friday. Thank God it's Friday, right?
Right.
We've got Joe Mikitish here. Joe Mikitish and I have been trying to get together and talk for a while. Um, he runs a networking group. Well, he owns a company called Blue Collar Connect, where they run networking groups and events for trades and home services business owners. Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me what. In a minute, we'll get into how you got there. But what's that
Sure.
mean?
Yeah. So my focus is always, for the last 25 years, been on networking, right? And so one of the things that I noticed is that I spend a lot of time. I've been spending a lot of time. I walk into big events and I see tradespeople, and they're kind of hiding, and they're like this in the corner as financial planners and insurance people are pouncing on them, right? And so I reach in and pull them out and go introduce them. I'm like, "What do you do, plumber?" Okay, I'm going to introduce you to this HVAC guy, and then I end up clustering them all together, into a space where they can actually refer business. And so that's how it really started, was the idea of trades businesses. I've owned my own trades businesses in the past, and I always crushed it with networking with other tradespeople. And so that was the foundation. And the next thing I noticed was that they really just don't understand business development, most of them, and the coaches and training that's out there all has an agenda of a certain kind. They're either trying to push people to a certain program or certain
Mhm.
software, or they're trying to sell stuff. So what we do is really focus on business development, right? We're talking everything from starting a business brand new all the way to exiting. So scaling, hiring, all that stuff. So it's more than
And
just
then
networking. It's networking plus business development, trades and home services only. It's pure networking.
so
Exactly what it's supposed to be.
when you say exiting, so you're going to build that business up, and then at some point it's time to make money on it. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to get out, and then maybe start another company or something like that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it could be money. It could be. So what we talk about is the four pillars of a successful business, right?
Mhm.
One is health, right? Is it a healthy business? Number two, is it building wealth for you and your employees? Not,
Mhm.
maybe look at step two. Is it healthy, right? And so the next one is relationships. So
Mhm.
building relationships in order to grow your business, relationships with your employees, relationships with other people. And then the last one is happiness, right? So are you
Mhm.
happy in your business? And if at any point you're unhappy, maybe it's time to let that business be somebody else's baby. So it could be,
Sure.
I'm not happy because I've been running this business and I want to go start something else. I'm not happy because it's too stressful for me to run a business anymore. I'm not happy
Yeah.
because I want to move on and retire. Whatever the reason is, we help people with that process. So everything from building healthy businesses, building wealth, building relationships, and then making sure they're happy in their business. And if not, we can fix all that stuff.
So unhappiness isn't necessarily a reason to exit the space, but you might
Right?
need to make some changes, right?
Exactly. If they're unhappy, it could be, hey, I'm unhappy with this some employees, or oh man, my whole screen just blinked. So
Yeah, I
uh,
saw that.
yeah, that was weird. Never had that
I
happen
was
before.
unhappy with your screen.
Yeah, yeah, it actually felt like a power outage for a second. So lucky I got
Hmm.
this thing on battery backup. But
Good.
the critical point of businesses is: are we happy when we wake up in the morning? Are we fired up to go to work?
Right.
And as business owners, I know a lot of business owners who hit that snooze like 50 times, like they're an employee of a corporation, back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever worked for big companies, but it was snooze alarm all day, working for big companies. So
Yeah.
I don't want people to live their life that way in a business. Don't feel trapped. There's a way out.
Right.
And if there's not a
Yeah.
way out, there's a way to fix. If you don't want out, there's a way to fix that unhappiness problem. Be excited about your business again.
Yeah. Or start something new,
Or something new.
maybe this arena, this area doesn't work for me anymore, but I now have some business acumen. Let's go and start something new. Yeah.
Yep.
Happiness is key. If you're not happy, it's pointless to be doing what you're doing if
Right.
that's the cause of your unhappiness. So what about marketing with Blue Collar Connect? Is marketing still a focus, or was that more of a Do Work University thing?
Okay, yeah. So that's a great question. So Do Work University, I get this question a lot. We started Blue Collar Connect, 9 weeks ago. So it's not like a thing that's all national yet. Even though we have
Sure, sure.
multiple markets, but people are like, "Hey, are you getting ready to Do Work University?" And the answer is no. I'm I'm doubling down on it. In fact, I'm creating more content for Do Work University than I was before. So really, it was
Mhm.
focused on time management, marketing, and sales. And now we're bringing in other stuff like hiring, profitability, scaling. Marketing and sales is still a huge part of it. As you know, that's a passion of mine. I built a whole platform around it, and
Right.
teaching people how to do their own marketing. So Blue Collar Connect members get Do Work University included in their membership. Do Work members, they still get all the same benefits with Do Work, but they're actually going to get more. They're going to get more than they were before. So it's not just marketing and sales, but they're going to get more on the business development side than they were before.
So it's like a symbiotic relationship between the two companies, piggybacking one on the other, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk about you. Are you a native Idahoan, or where'd you come from?
Yeah, I'm not a native Idahoan. I'm from Montana, actually.
Okay.
I traveled all over the world and then ended up here. It was kind
Mhm.
of one of those things where I ended up in Houston, Texas, and then I didn't
Mhm.
really realize like there were hurricanes and flooding, and I didn't realize
And horrible humidity. Yeah.
yeah, the humidity. And I always made the joke: I go in my backyard to smoke a cigar and get blood transfusion from all the mosquitoes eating me. So I'm like, yeah, it's really not for me. I still go back and I still enjoy the people in Houston, but
Mhm.
moving from Montana at 7,000 feet of elevation where I grew up to
Mhm.
traveling to all over the world, all over the U.S., living in really cool places. My dad retired in Boise, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to move up here? I'm getting out of the military. Hey, do you want to start a business together?" And by the way, your house flooding twice in Houston in a 6 month period. That'd be good to get away from that. There's no flooding in Boise that I've seen. So I moved here
Mhm.
in 2003. So,
Mm.
back when you could buy a house for 75 grand,
Yeah. Yeah.
those were the days. And it was great. Moving here was a huge step in my progress because I owned a business in Houston and then
Mhm.
sold it to a buddy
That
of
was
mine.
a trade, some sort of trade or something.
No, it's technology. We owned an IT business. So,
Oh, okay.
yep, ended up selling my half to a partner. And then when I moved to Boise, very shortly after that, my dad and I started a very similar business together. So,
Okay.
I have bought landscaping businesses. So I owned a landscaping business, and we did both. I had two sides to it. So the trade side, we did, the hardscaping, landscaping, sprinklers.
Mhm.
And then the other side, we did lawn care maintenance. We control that kind of thing. So,
Sure.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good experiment, right? Can I take all my techniques and apply it
Right.
not only to a technology company, same techniques, does it work for a trades business? And I bought that business with 3 employees. 18 months later, I sold it with 57 employees, and we were
Oh,
hiring
wow.
like five more when I sold it. So,
And
that
what do you attribute that growth to? The marketing, or a little bit of everything, or how'd you do
yeah.
that?
So we actually didn't do any marketing. So not traditional marketing. What we did was built. So I went and found people who did gutters, roofing, siding, concrete. And there's 25 of us that were trades, HVAC, plumbing, whatever. And we met
Mhm.
every 2 weeks, once for lunch, and that ended up being cigars in the afternoon because it was on a Friday. And
Mhm.
then we met for breakfast once a month. And that group of people, 25 of us, we passed $5 million in business in the first year we ran that group together. So yeah, we passed. Yeah. And so what I understood about marketing really well was referrals. And so we built a referral network. And then I communicated with my clients on how to refer me. So I taught them how to refer me. And so, as you know, if you got a lawn care person, they're probably going to refer you to their neighbor if they know how, right? So, on that side of things, we got referrals, and then the neighborhoods. I would drive through neighborhoods, and if they looked really, really nice, I'd find the neighborhood association. I'd just build a relationship with them. I'd get referred into them, and then I would bid on that neighborhood, and if I got it, I would then go through and talk to all the neighbors. So I'd get the neighborhood association as part of our deal to send a message out to all of the people in the neighborhood going, hey, we got a new landscaping company. This is what they're going to be doing. This is their name. Also, they do residential. So if you like the way the neighborhood looks, you could hire them. And so that was huge. We just gobbled up neighborhood after neighborhood. It was a busy
awesome.
time.
So that's like so marketing, no, networking, yes. It's all about the network then. And and our business is very similar. It's all about putting the people together and like being able to stack clients on clients because you did well for one person. So like in the example that you've just given, if you don't do a good job for that first person, the rest of that never happens, right? So being able to go in there and say, hey, we did a really nice job for you. Would you go ahead and talk to your neighbor? If they bring it up, don't forget I'm here, so on and so forth. And then, you've got, the whole street or 2 streets worth of people, and they all know when you're coming, and they all talk to each other how much they love you. And that's great. So Montana to Houston, over to Idaho. Where'd you start fishing? You started fishing here?
No, I started fishing in Montana when I was a kid. Actually, I probably caught fish before this, but my first fish I remember catching with my uncle, and he took me fishing. Bobber and a hook, old school.
Wow, old school,
little tiny rod and reel, and probably Zebco 33 or something like that. Bait casters, and that's how I learned how to fish. And I've learned a lot since. It's kind of interesting because it's generational. My grandpa was an amazing fisherman. We fished all the time when I was a kid. And then great conversations. He knew a lot about business. His library was just loaded with business books. And so I read a lot of business books as a kid. But then, I passed that on. My son, who's 18, he actually started a landscaping business, graduated from high school, a month ago, and started a landscaping business. And but he fishes, like everything I learned from my grandpa. I was like, thought I was an amazing fisherman, plus all the stuff I learned since he passed away. And then I passed it on to my son, and now he outfishes me all the time. We go out, and I'm just like in awe of how many fish.
And it couldn't make you happier, right? It couldn't make you happier that your son outdoes you. That's awesome.
Well, that's what it's all about, right? You teach them and hope that they take what you taught them and take it forward. Wish everybody would take advice like that.
Yeah, it would be, we'd be in the human race would be in a great place if we could take everything that we'd learned and never did anything wrong, only did the good, correct, right things, right? Or you said something.
Mistakes of the past.
Say it one more time.
Or just don't repeat the mistakes of the past, right?
Exactly. Unfortunately, we all seem to do it, though. We all seem to do it.
We got to fall on our own faces.
You say, and ultimately, in the end, oftentimes that's the best way for us to learn, right? You learn from mistakes more than you learn from somebody showing you something good. At least in my experience, it's been that way. I also was in IT for almost 20 years, and I think the way that I learned the most in the shortest amount of time is to fix something broken, whatever it was. Instead of reading a manual that says, here's how you do this. Okay, I've got time. I maybe I lose track of that thing or whatever. But when your business is depending on a piece of software or a server or whatever it is, and it breaks, you really need to understand how to fix it quickly to get yourself back into money-making mode. And so I think that that's the way that I've learned best. And I think that a lot of people are probably that way. Would you agree?
Agreed. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's school of hard knocks that teaches the lessons the best. But
Right. That's true.
we all hope for our kids that they don't have to repeat the mistakes we made.
But they do. But they do. I didn't listen to my dad. I remember that. And I remember being about 25, 26 and realizing, oh, dad was right about so many things that he told me that I thought he was full of it, but he was right. So,
right.
you said something that I actually wanted to ask about. You said your son started a business, which,
right.
and you're the blue collar connect. It's not the white collar connect. It's not, I'm going to go and talk to these people who all have college degrees and all that. While they might, it's not just that sort of an environment. Growing up, and we were always told that you have to go to college. You can't go to trade school. That's what dumb people do, or that's what weak people, or whatever it was always negative, right?
Absolutely.
But I didn't go get a college degree, and I don't think I'm any worse for it. And oftentimes we hear about people who, let's say, start a business right out of high school, or become a plumber or a plumber's apprentice and work their way in. And then pretty soon they're making a couple $100,000 a year, while these other people are paying off a couple $100,000 a year in student loans. Well, not if Joe Biden has anything to do with it. Sorry. But so it makes a lot of sense that we shift that make a paradigm shift into, hey guys, let's start businesses. Let's do things with our hands. Do you agree with that? I mean, we just don't have enough of that. We've naysayed it, or the generation before us maybe naysayed it for so long that people don't want to do it. People don't want to get their hands dirty, work hard.
Well, and it doesn't stop as an adult either. So here's the thing: like in high school, we're told we got to put you on a college track, right. And if you don't have that intelligence level or whatever it is, they're going to put you on another track, and usually that track is they ignore you and just let you fall off the radar. And so, there's a lot of societal problems with this, in that we should be encouraging people to go into the trades at the beginning, right? We should be going, hey, you're handy. You can swing a hammer, or you can at least line something up correctly.
Sure.
Encouraging people to go in the trades. And I'll tell you this, most of the millionaires I know, most of them are tradespeople. So I look around like my neighborhood, right? And people are kind of well-to-do over here. I would say it's 50-50 trades and white collar.
What city do you live in?
What's that?
What city do you live in?
I'm in Meridian.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, but just in my neighborhood here, it's the trades. You can see all their trucks all logoed up. They got their vans.
Sure.
And then you got the rest of them. And one of the questions I asked, we had a little barbecue with a bunch of people a couple years ago, and this was before anybody knew what AI was. I'm like, what's the likelihood your career is going to be replaced by technology, right? AI, as
zero.
Right. So if you're a lawyer, the likelihood that it's been happening. Legal Shield has been around for years. I haven't paid a lawyer an hourly rate in several years, and I use AI tools now to do a lot of what I call white collar tasks, right? And so we made this mistake by getting these people into debt and telling them, hey, you need a college degree in order to be successful. But the reality is most of the people I know that are millionaires, either they don't have a college degree or they don't use the one they have, right? They got an engineering degree that costs $200,000, and they own a landscaping business, right, or whatever.
Right.
So, because they realize the thing that they did before they went to college is the thing that makes them the most happy, right? And so they're back to it, and it makes them money, right? And so one of the things that I try and teach people in the trades is, hey, we got to build you wealth with the money you're already making in your business. There's structure. So, oftentimes, all these people in my neighborhood, I would say 90% of them live month to month, right? Even you got doctors in here that are making $250,000, $300,000 a year. They're living month to month. They're spending their money on their cars. Like the house payments alone are huge. Yeah. Their vacations. By the time it's all said and done, they have nothing to invest. And so tradespeople are a little bit more frugal, typically, right? So They're like, hey, they got their IRA, 401k, they've got stocks, they're investing in stuff. They may not know what they're doing, but this is one of the things that we teach them in Blue Collar Connect. But what I found, back to your question, is encouraging people to go in the trades is a huge part of what we're doing, right? It's the trade structure, the trades business is an honorable thing to do. And I'm quite frankly tired of people dumping on it, right? It's in high school, from the high school counselors. When my son said, "Hey, I want to get into the trades out of high school," suddenly he was like ignored, and that's not the right way to treat people. What they should be doing is teaching people how to balance books, how to balance their checkbook, how to understand how money works, and so that when they leave there, they're in the best position. But we all know that the government doesn't want us to be financially secure, right?
Because no, it makes us too free. They don't want us that free.
Yeah, they don't want us to be free, and so that's one of the things that we're about is encouraging freedom, right? So my son, he's 18. He makes more money in passive income because I've been having him invest every penny he makes since he was kid into real estate investment trust. Most people don't even know what that is, and so I've been investing in real estate investment trusts, and he gets a passive income every single month that is almost enough for him to live on if he wanted to, right? And so at 18.
So are you using, or I should ask, are you familiar with Realty Mogul?
No. What is that?
So it's just like that. So it's syndication for multifamily properties, etc. So you go onto realtymogul.com, you create an account, and I learned from this from my brother-in-law, who's done very well. He's a commercial realtor. He's done very, very well. And one of the places that he invests his money is into realtymogul.com. So if you needed capital to buy and refurbish or whatever, but oftentimes it's to buy and refurbish a 40-door, 100-door, 500-door multifamily product, maybe you've only got 100,000, or maybe you've only got access to $1 million or whatever it is. You go into Realty Mogul, just like you would go sit in front of people and ask them to invest. You give them the amount, you put it on the business plan, the amount that you need, rather. You show your business plan, and then they put it out to their membership, and you can say, okay, and then you also put what the return on investment should be. Of course, that doesn't always turn out that way, but then the minimum level is, say, $2,500 investment, or $50,000, or $100,000 investment, whatever it is. There's generally something for everybody. You put that money in, you wire the money over, whatever it is. You're in contract with them, and so you start seeing a return at whatever time they've specified. You'll see a return, and it's very, very cool. It might be something that you and your son want to look at. It's a cool product.
Yeah, I just pulled it up on my other screen over here, so I'll take a look at it. Real estate crowdfunding. REITs are a cool thing, and it's really cool. So, I think ultimately at the end of the day, we need to be encouraging more people to circle back on that conversation. We need to be encouraging more people to join the trades. We have trades. Those are great. You don't need them. You don't need to go to a trade school to learn it. You can learn on the job, and most trades businesses are hiring. And most of them, I would say 90% of the ones I run into are willing to do on-the-job training. So you want to be a plumber, they'll take you through the process to the point where you do need schooling, but they'll at least get you started. And not all the trades need that type of professional licensing. Plumbing does, electricians do. But you could be you could be a painter with never getting a certification or going to trade school.
Right.
Painters make great money. My wife, her dad owns a painting business, and he does well. So could he have done better? Sure. If he had Blue Collar Connect all those years, he would be doing a lot better.
Of course. And the trade-off there, just like going in and getting yourself for some sort of a degree, getting a school loan, the trade-off is that, yes, when you first start, you'll make less money. So you're not going to make $45 an hour. You're going to make $15 an hour, but you're learning something, which is worth something, right? That's worth $20 an hour or whatever whatever you're paying for it by taking lower wage, but then you're readying yourself to be the man and not just an apprentice. I wish that more people talked about this way, because when I got out of school, my dad was a carpenter, and when I got out of high school, I wasn't super smart and I wasn't super driven, and my dad he's a baby boomer. It was go work. It's time to go work, and
Right.
so he helped me. He was working for a company, gave me a job. I went in, I swung a hammer for a couple of years, and it kind of showed me that wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do for the rest of my life anyway, but it was a great way to learn grit, learn how to do tasks and jobs, and make some money while you're figuring it out what it is exactly you want to do.
Right.
So you put on events all around the country, right?
Right.
What does an event look like? So say you do a Do Work and or Blue Collar Connect event in Wichita, Kansas. Tell us about that. Say somebody, they go, oh, well, what is this? Okay, yeah, it's $500 or it's $100 or I have no idea what it would cost, but whatever it costs, they're going. What happens?
Yeah. So with the do work side of things, we'll just start with that. So when we do events, typically they are social networking type of event. So a
Mhm.
lot of people, when they think of that, they think, hey, I'm going to go to this event. It's going to be 2 hours. There's going to be some type of sales pitch. We don't do that. Networking is
Mhm.
networking. Sales pitch is that's a different event.
Sure.
And so no speakers, no presentation, but we teach you on the way in the door how to network properly. I can tell you that I go to networking events all over the country, other people, chambers of commerce, small networking events, big ones, it doesn't matter. Networking is done wrong everywhere, right? And so when you walk in, let's just say you're a CPA. Okay, we'll get away from the trades for a minute. You're a CPA, and you walk into a networking event. First person who walks up to you is a chiropractor, right? And the chiropractor and you start talking, and then a couple minutes later, a web developer comes up. Okay, and then now you got a web developer, a chiropractor, and a CPA. And then a couple minutes later, HVAC guy comes over, and now you got HVAC, chiropractor, and then so on and so forth, right? And what you have there is a group of 4 people talking that generally cannot and will not refer business to each other. Right? The purpose of networking is to find referral partners,
Mhm.
not customers. It's to
Right.
find referral partners, not customers. So now let's go back to the CPA. CPA is there. Estate planning attorney comes over. A CPA and estate planning attorney. Now there's the 2 of them are talking, and a business banker comes over. And then you have a person who's a bookkeeper. So you got a bookkeeper, a CPA, a business banker, and then an
Mhm.
estate planning attorney. Which one is more valuable for the CPA?
The
Option 2,
attorney.
right? Because they're going to get referrals from the bookkeeper, referrals from the business
Mhm.
banker, and referrals from the estate planning attorney, and they will also in return be able to refer business to them at a high level. Right? And so should that CPA continue to talk to the chiropractor? Maybe if the chiropractor needs accounting services, or the CPA's back hurts from sitting in their chair too long, right? And
Right.
so if that's the case, then they can do business together, but they're not good referral partners, because the likelihood that CPA is going to refer a bunch of business ever to the chiropractor, or the chiropractor to the CPA is slim to none. Maybe
Right.
once a year, right? And
Right.
so this is the problem with networking. I walk into networking groups, people are drinking beers or hanging out in the evening, or in the morning they're having breakfast together, or in the middle of the day they're at a networking group, and I look around the room and I go, those 3 are good referral partners. Those 3 are good referral partners. Those 3 are good referral partners. None of them are sitting next to each other, and they don't network together after the fact. And
Right.
so, and then they go, I spend all this time networking, I'm not getting any money out of it. Well, whose fault is that? It's yours for not learning how to network properly. So
Right.
what we do when people come to our events, they get color coded. You're in business services, you're in real estate, you're in the trades, you're
Oh.
marketing, you're in health and wellness, and you go find other people with your same sticker on, and you talk to them, and then you build referral relationships with them. And people walk out of there. There's one guy who was telling me he tracked how much money he got from going to 4 of our events, like 4 evening events over
Sure.
4 a month, one a month, $40,000 in referred business to him. He's a solopreneur, right? And so He came there, he drank our beer, hung out, met some people, walked out of there with $40,000 in new referred business. Why? How do you get $40,000 when most people don't get that in 5 years of networking? The reason why is because he only networked with people in what's called his power team, right? Power teams are the critical component to networking. And so what we did with Blue Collar Connect is we shrunk it even more, right? The only power team there is the trades and home services people, right? So the blue collar folks. Why is it important for them to network in a place where, like, if you walked into a room, like, let's say you were a CPA and you walked into a room and everybody in there sold business to business, they were all business services, you'd be ecstatic, right? And if you were, a chiropractor and you walked in a room and there's a massage therapist, a naturopath, physical therapist, and everybody in there was a health and wellness professional. There's 40 people, everybody's health and wellness. You're the only chiropractor in the room. They'd be so happy, right? And so tradespeople, they walk in the room and there's 40 tradespeople in the room. And you're a plumber and there's an HVAC person, there's a roofer, there's somebody who does siding, and every single person's in a different trade. They're in heaven because those people are going to refer business to them at a high level. I talked to a electrician who's part of Blue Collar Connect. He told me the whole week of work this week, all 5 days, 40 hours a week for him and his 3 guys, all came from referrals from Blue Collar Connect. That's
awesome. And is that your metric for success? Is when you can have people making money on referrals because they came to an event, or
yep,
that's your metric.
They just come there and meet people and then walk out and they get nothing. What's the point of it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But your metric for success. How do you succeed, Joe Mikitish? How do you succeed? Because I don't know what your revenue stream is. I don't know how you're making money. But you do events. It sounded like that one was free because they're drinking my beer, right? They were drinking our beer.
Well, they're drinking their own beer. They paid for it. But yeah, the reality is we do memberships, right? So do work memberships include a lot of education. So is the Blue Collar Connect memberships. We really focus on 2 things. One is relationships with do work, and then the marketing and sales and building more customer side of business. So with what we're doing on the Blue Collar Connect side, there's the website there. Blue Collar Connect is really, really focused on the initial part is building the relationship. So they surround themselves with an amazing referral network. And then the next thing is taking those referral relationships and the money received from that to build a healthy business where the business owner's not in the truck anymore. We all have businesses where we're in the truck, right? That could be if you own an IT business and you're going out and servicing computers. You're not really a business owner. You kind of made yourself a job there. So what we want to do is make sure that people move to business ownership and move through the process. So yeah, we make money on memberships. Blue Collar Connect is an annual membership. Do Work University is a monthly membership. So yep.
And I'm guessing that probably gets you tapped into your network. So the network then includes all those HVAC guys and all those electricians and all those siding guys and whatever. So if I go, obviously as a realtor all the time, people call me and say, Dan, this happened. I need an HVAC guy. Okay, cool. Well, I've got a great referral for you. Let me send it over. But you've got that too, and they're able to tap into that.
Yeah, and you tap in, like you as a realtor, you tap into Blue Collar Connect from the Do Work side, right? So you come to Do Work events, and then you tap into the Blue Collar network. So what's great for you is, so here in the Boise area, we're going to be running a Boise group, Meridian group, Nampa group, and Caldwell group. And so it's based upon where they live, not where they do business, because they all do business all over the valley. But they come to breakfast with us once a month. And so if you figure there's going to be 40 tradespeople in each group, we're going to have 160 tradespeople, 4 of each category: 4 plumbers, 4 electricians, 4 HVAC, 4 landscaping. And they have to be able to take the calls and scale their business in order to be a member. And so for what that means for you as a realtor is you go, I got to get this house moved and I need a landscaper to clean it up like tomorrow.
Sure,
absolutely. Who's gonna do that for you, man? That's the hard part is you start making calls, or you tap into the Blue Collar Connect network, and you got 4 of them to call on, and they're going to be there for you because you're part of the
Right.
new work.
You're going to get priority because you're in the group. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've needed that. I've needed that exact thing that you just said. A place is covered in weeds or whatever. You need somebody to come take care of it.
Yeah,
Speaking of work, we'll say it again. Say it one more time.
My son will do that.
There you go. Perfect. I'm sure he's at the top of that portion of the vendors list, which is great because if we can't help our sons to make money and do things, then what are we doing for them?
Right.
That networking starts right there. I like that. So you do events, you do different types of events. Like you said, you've got a breakfast one. So what I've seen out in the wild is, hey, come to a happy hour or what. It's generally at a bar or a restaurant or something like that. You can get a lot of people in there. They're all going to come in, and I'm guessing they're going to order dinner if they want and order a beer or a cocktail or whatever it is. And then you're going to speak for a little while. You're going to maybe have some instruction. You teach some stuff, and then if they want, which obviously that's probably the drive, is to build your network by having members join and things like that. But there's a value add. You're teaching something, right?
Yeah. So we don't do the presentation. We do it as people are coming in the door. So we have a check-in process. So when people come in, we have a big sheet out and we go, okay, here's the different members.
The sticker.
Which one are you in? And then this is how you network, because we have so many people at the front checking people in. We can do that education on the fly as they're coming in, and then they go network in the location. So like next week we've got one at a pizza place, Idaho Pizza Company, and they have a big location in the back for us. 100 people have been. We've had over 100 people in there, and people come in and they have you see the tables and everybody's got blue stickers on, right? The next table everybody's got, say, orange stickers on it, and the next one everybody's got red stickers on it, and they're all networking together. And you watch the money. Like I walk around and just watch the referrals moving in the meeting. So what other networking is it where you get to have lunch with people who are your ultimate referral partners every month? And that's with no presentation. We don't stop the meeting and go, Joe's going to get up there and talk. They look around the room and look at everybody's with stickers on and see money moving at the table. They know what I do. That's what I do. I teach people how to do that on scale. So
that's great. That's great, because a lot of times, and I think you sort of mentioned it, a lot of times if somebody invites me to a networking meeting or something like that, it's like, yes, there's probably business there for me or referrals, etc. But I don't want to go get sold on a bunch of stuff. I don't want to go there and sit there and have you make me sit at a table with a bunch of people. And that's sort of that poor networking that you're talking about. Just so that you can try and sell me your insurance package or whatever it is. They're putting it together with ulterior motives, sort of, so that they can sell their product. But yours is, it's more of an organic, you put people together who should be together. They're not just there because they all answered the ad or whatever.
Right. They come there because, and people come every month to our events because they want to be a part of what's going on, and they know they're going to walk out of there with clients, and that's ultimately the name of the game. And how I sell, I don't have to sell anything, man, because people come to my networking events, dollars to donuts, at a table of 10 people, 7 of them are already my clients, 3 of them are maybe not, right? And what do I need to sell them anything for? They're going to go, do you work with Joe and Sterling with do work on Blue Collar Connect? What does that look like? Then everybody at the room is going to tell them their story. Everybody at the table is going to tell them their story about what working with us led to. And if it didn't lead to anything, then I'll get the sale, right? If it did lead to something, which it does, they made money, their business is better, they're happier, their whole life has changed, whatever they're going to talk about. I get signups on the spot, right? I do an event, I get application, and people have to apply to be a member. They don't just get to be a member. So, I don't accept everybody. There's qualifiers, right? And so we background check people, that kind of thing. So I make sure that the people in the room, when you walk into a room, there's no sex offenders in my room. You're not allowed, right?
Sure.
That kind of thing. So women who are business owners feel safe in our space because bad behavior is not allowed, right?
Sure.
And the people who are in the room have been background checked, and if they slip through, they're a visitor. I find out usually within a few hours after the meeting, and then they're not allowed to come to our stuff anymore.
They're not coming back.
Yeah, you're not coming back. And they're like, you can't punish me for stuff I did 10 years ago. I'm like, the heck I can't. You shouldn't have done that. My event, I can do what I want. And so, I make sure the people in there are good, solid people. But when you sit down at a table, the person across from you, they've been doing business with me for 3 years or 2 years or 2 months. They're going to tell you everything you need to know about doing business with us. And what'll happen is you're going to go, I want that too. Yeah. I'm looking around that nobody's pitched me anything. Pure networking. I walk out of here with 4 or 5 good referral partners, 2 or 3 referrals. I want to come back. Not only do I want to come back, I want to know how to make this better. I want to do this all.
I like it. So obviously, I sell real estate, and I have a lot of friends or colleagues, acquaintances, et cetera, who sell real estate. So can you teach me something about can you tell me what 3 or 4 really good referral partners for a realtor would be?
Yeah. So amazingly enough, you're going to look at PNC insurance people that have a high number of renters policies. So PNC, for people who don't know, is home and auto insurance people. Independents are better, led next by like farmers agents, because they're kind of given some autonomy. And so the ones that are chasing down renters policies or have a whole bunch of them are great referral partners, because there's, I don't know. Can I present on this thing? Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you sure can. Yep. It sounds like, you can do share screen. It sounds like that's a good one, because those people, those renters, someday are going to turn into buyers, right?
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to show you how people do it wrong in the real estate space. This is what I do, man. I'll give you a little taste, and everybody else. So,
okay.
Let's see, share screen. Let's do this guy over here. All right. Can you see this web browser popped up here?
I can. I need to add it. So here we go.
Okay. All right. So this is currently your real estate agent. The mortgage people are hitting you up constantly. Hey, can I take you to lunch? Can you send me some deals? Right. And then the PNC people, which is home and auto, this is the machine. This is what everybody does all day. This is wrong, completely wrong. Right. So this is how it should be. So PNC insurance people are the head. They're the top of the funnel. Right. So they're getting renters policies. Why are people renting? Number one is maybe they want to, but most of the time it's because they can't. They don't qualify for a loan. They don't know if they can. They're frustrated with their financial health, right? But what they need is a mortgage person who's an advisor who understands how to move them from don't qualify for a loan to qualify for a loan. And we'll take them through that process. And maybe they need some credit repair. Maybe they need a credit repair company to help them out. If they're a business owner, maybe they need to increase their revenue. Maybe they need to structure some profit into their business so that they can afford a house. Maybe they're not paying themselves properly, right? Why do business owners get turned down from loans? Is because they don't have a W-2, and the loan companies don't understand this. So how do you use a PEO to create, to pay you as a business owner, so you get paid as a W-2 employee of a big, huge national corporation, so that you can get qualified for a mortgage? They don't understand this stuff, right? So, and then maybe your financial advisor can work some stuff with your 401k, IRA, that kind of thing, in order to structure the down payment properly, right? So having a good, solid fiduciary advisor who understands these things. Then after they get qualified, they bring them to you, right? Or they need to move, they want to move real estate. They own a piece of real estate. Their financial advisor is over here going, okay, you got this home, you want to move to another one, you want to make sure your taxes are good, that kind of thing. Let me introduce you to this mortgage person and real estate agent so that we can get your property listed properly and move you to the right thing without causing a tax problem. So anyway, this is a structure, right? Then you bring the home inspector and trades people into the equation. So this, and you're welcome to, I'll send this to you. You can share it with people.
Okay, cool.
So
this is great, because we talked about this last Friday. When Rondi Lambeth came on. He's got a company called Fortress, and I know you probably got Oh, is he? Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Great guy. It was a great show. If anybody's curious about kind of what he does and how he can help you with your credit repair, et cetera, Fortress Credit Pros, or watch last week's episode. All the information's in there. But go ahead. That's great that he's your client.
Yeah, he's been my client for a long time. I know Rondi. I know his daughter.
Oh,
In
great.
fact, her partner. He's I think Rondi's sales manager, and he comes to my sales coaching. So I do sales coaching. Um,
Oh, cool.
so
Small world around here.
Small world, yeah. And
Yeah.
in fact, I think he's like the second or third sales manager who's worked for Rondi that's come through my coaching. So, we make sure that we take care of people who could do good stuff. And I usually send people to, I set this structure up with people all over the country who are clients. Why? Because y'all are going to feed the tradespeople properly, right? So, do I make money at any point in this equation? Typically not. I'm typically making money when the tradespeople are, you guys are engaging with the tradespeople. And so this creates value and movement of deals that pulls, and home inspectors and tradespeople are both part of Blue Collar Connect. So, all right, I'll stop sharing that. But, the reality is most people, when they think about referral partners, their concept that's in their mind about what good referral partner is incorrect. It's wrong. And when they go to networking events or networking groups, they usually are wasting their time. I would say almost all networking that I go to and I watch people. I'm a people watcher. I go to a chamber of commerce after hours. I got my beer in hand. I'm ready to go. I look around the room and I watch people talking to each other, or I go to a coffee shop and I watch people who are having coffee with each other. And I'm like, what are you doing here? I do this thing. I get up in front of 500 or 1,000 people. I'll go, who here in the last 2 weeks has gone to coffee with somebody that's a networking coffee, a one-to-one, where you walked out of there and went, I got nothing out of that.
We've all done it.
Every hand goes, right? And so, you've done it. I've done it. It's you. And the problem is, this is the bigger problem. It contributes to you people being broke. And I'll tell, and I don't know where I'm at on time, but I will tell one quick story here.
So, take all the time. We've got 5 hours if you want to take it.
Okay. So I got a call from a guy. Actually, these calls happen all the time. So I'll actually use the example, not trades. We'll go with a photographer calls me up. She's dead broke, like not just broke, but like she doesn't have money to buy food or gas for herself and her family, right? And so she's like, I don't know what to do. This is on a Wednesday night. I'm walking into an event and I'm standing outside. People are looking out and going, what's Joe doing? So I'm talking to her, got referred to her. So I'm going to take time to make sure that she's taken care of. She's broke. She needs to take care of her family. So I'm like, here's the deal, right? You're a photographer. What kind of photos do you take? I do headshots. Cool. You do headshots for business owners, business people, professionals. Yes. Excellent. Okay. Now I know who your target customer is. Tell me what your last 3 days have looked like. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Who have you been meeting with? So she's like, well, I've gone to 5 coffee meetings, chiropractor, a CPA, a real estate agent. One of them was a tradesperson. And then she went to one coffee meeting with a web developer. Like, so out of those 5 coffee meetings, you had one that was valuable potentially, which is the web developer, right? But the web developer wasn't doing any business, brand new in business. So not great. And so I told her, I was like, so here, you got to look at this. You spent 5 hours going to coffee meetings. At the coffee meetings, we'll just say each one lasted 1 hour, 5 hours plus drive time. We'll call it 8-hour day. Out of your 3 days, you spent 8 hours networking. And that's in one-to-one situations, not even group stuff. One-to-one situations. You bought coffee at each one. We'll call it $5 per coffee. So $25 plus you spent gas to get there. Total cost for your week is $50 in cash, 8 hours of your time. How many referrals did you get? Zero. What's the potential that you're going to get any referrals from those people? Near zero, right? And so I told her, I was like, what I want you to do tonight, it's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening, pull up a Google sheet and open up your phone and start looking for people who are in the marketing power team. Do they do marketing? Any kind of marketing. I don't care what kind of marketing is. Do they do marketing? And I want you to put them in the sheet and put their phone numbers in there. I want you to get as many as you can before you fall asleep tonight. And then tomorrow morning, I want you to start at the top. I want you to start calling those people and ask them if they know anybody who needs headshots. You need money now, so you're not going to beat around the bush and say, hey, do you want to have coffee? Say, yeah, I need money now. I really need your help. Do you know anybody I can do headshots for tomorrow? And so she got to a guy who runs marketing for a larger company here in town. He was like, it's funny that you called because our headshot photographer just flaked on us for our headshot shoot tomorrow. I got 50 people that need headshots tomorrow.
Oh man.
And so he's like, I'll be there. What time? 8 in the morning. I'll be there. I'll have all my gear. I'll bring all my lights. I'll see you tomorrow morning. And she's like, I have one favor to ask. Can you pay me for the shoot tomorrow? And he was like, done. I'll pay you at the end of the day. So in a couple of hours of making phone calls, she paid all of her bills for 2 months. Right. And so because headshots are not cheap, right? She's got to do all the editing. She's got to make sure everything's good. So she ended up walking out of there with almost $10,000 from those guys, plus a contract to do all their headshots in the future. And that guy,
that's awesome.
And here's the disturbing thing. That guy knew her, knows she does headshots. His headshot photographer that he'd been using before flakes on him. Did he remember to call her? No, he didn't.
No.
She's out networking with chiropractors and bookkeepers and stuff. And she's not networking with the people who can actually bring her business. And so I told her, I was like, I want you to only network with people who are in the marketing power team. What did I see the other day? So you're at a coffee shop networking with somebody who's not in the marketing power team. People, we fall back into our bad habits, right? And high performance habits, right? You fall back into your bad habits instead of moving forward on your good ones. And if people watch to this point in this conversation and they get nothing else out of anything that I've talked about, is only network with people who are in your power team. If you're in health and wellness, network with people in health and wellness. If you're marketing, network with marketing people. If you're in the real estate team, network with real estate people. If you're business services, business service people. If you are in the trades, only network with trades people. For God's sake, please do that, right? Because you won't be broke anymore. You're going to be super happy with your networking. You're going to make a lot more money, and then you're going to come track me down and send me a thank you note. Right. So, and all I ask is when you buy a new boat or you buy a new house or you buy a new thing, taking your kids on vacation at Disney, you've never been able to, send me a picture, I can sell.
Or name the boat after you, right?
And name the boat after me. You and me know how many pictures of boats I get on a daily basis. I get people sending me pictures with their new boat, their new house, their kids at Disney. They're flying to Hawaii. They're at their favorite charity event, and their name's at the top of the list where they donated the most money, and they were broke a year before, like dead broke, couldn't pay their rent.
That's great. I think a good name, if you had done that for me and I became a millionaire because of the networking that you taught me how to do, I think that I would call my boat the Mikitish Millionaire. I think that's it. Eminem,
I want to see the whole. I want to go out to Lucky Peak and see Mikitish Millionaires all over that name.
So, yeah, no doubt. That'd be great. I'm trying to come up with some other. We've talked about some really good stuff, and it's really got my mind going. When's your next local event?
Yeah, so next Wednesday. What is that? I'd have to look at the calendar.
That's the Idaho Pizza Company one.
Idaho Pizza. So the way that we work here in the Boise area is open to everyone, not just trades. Is on the second Wednesday of each month, we do lunch at Idaho Pizza Company at Cole and Fairview.
Okay.
Then we do on the fourth Wednesday of each month, we do an evening one, and we're currently at the club at Spurwing. So if people want to come out to either one of those, that's not just tradespeople. It is trades heavy. There's usually about 50% trades and home services people in there. Actually, very few real estate agents, man. You'd be surprised. Like we'll get 100 people, one real estate agent. So, the reason for that, there's a perception in the market that our events are just loaded with real estate agents. So the other real estate agents don't want to go. But that perception couldn't be further from the truth. We did an event at Spurwing. There was one real estate agent in the whole room. So
we won't disseminate that portion, and I'll just be the guy who shows up all the time. So
there you go. Yeah.
Speaking of Spurwing, I rarely talk about my business on these, but I do have a Spurwing Greens Estates listing that went live today. So if anybody's looking for a 4,000 square foot house that's impeccable, it's gorgeous. at the $1.5 million range, just let me know and we'll set up a showing and get you in there. But enough about me. That's if you send me the 9th, by the way, August 9th is the Wednesday that you're talking about. If you wanted to just clip me your schedule for that, I'll post it to this. So if anybody's watching this, they can see, okay, those are the days that we can go and do those. In fact, I'm going to try and make the next one or one very, very soon. Can you just, if there was somebody like your son, but not somebody who's related to you, somebody who's thinking, okay, I'm going to get out of school, get out of high school, I'm going to graduate from high school, or even when they're in high school, you don't have to be out of high school to start a business.
Right.
And they wanted to start a business. Can you give them, are there any tips? Is there anything that you can tell someone like that you think will springboard them into being successful faster?
Yeah. So number one is don't give the lawyers and CPAs any of your money to start a business.
Right.
They're just stealing your money. So, and if you're a lawyer or CPA, you know I'm right. So the reality is you don't need those people to start a business. I have a free course, costs you nothing, on how to start a business in the state of Iowa.
Where do they find it? Where do they find that?
Go to Do Work University. And then, the next thing I'll do is right after this, I'll put it in the store, front and center, free course on how to start a business. Right. So I'll make sure it's on there where everybody can see it. So Do Work University, there's a store there. There you go, doworkuniversity.com. And then also, if you want to come to our events, up at the top, there's an events thing. So you're welcome to check on those and see what those events are. And then, so that's step one. Step two is stop creating business plans and wasting a bunch of your time thinking. So you're going to write all this stuff out and do what with it? I met a couple, they do junk hauling, right? They're, land, property cleanup. And I met with them for coffee because several people referred them to me. I sat down for 15 minutes with them. It was a real fast cup of coffee. And I was like, what are you up to right now? And they're like, well, writing out this business plan. I'm like, what are you doing that for? I'm like, you haul junk away to the dump, people pay you. There's your business plan, right? So I just wrote it for you. It's half a sentence. You don't need any more than that. I'm like, what you need is customers and money coming in. Okay, so what are you doing? What thing are you doing? What are you charging for it? Go find customers. So step one, you find customers. How do you find customers? Step one is to leverage the people you already know. So if you're a high school kid, you know your parents, you know your friends' parents, you know your teachers, right? So you may know some other people from church, that kind of thing, that are adults that could buy whatever service it is from you. Go ask them to do it, right? So they want to support you. They just don't know that they can. And so you go, hey, I'm doing a business where I come in and organize. Maybe you're like my daughter. She's an organizing fiend, right? She can clean up anything, organize everything. And so she could create an organizing business. She's 14. She could go, hey, can I organize your garage for money? They will pay you to do it, right? Next step is you got to make it super easy on them to pay, right? Cash is always king. Love cash, but you have Venmo, Cash App, some way for people to pay you. So those are the steps. All you need in order to start a business is one of those payment tools, a bank account. I recommend a credit union. Horizon Credit Union is across the street from me. Go talk to Teddy. She's at the 10 Mile branch. She'll take care of you. She'll make sure that you have everything you need, walk you through the process. She won't take advantage of you like some of the other bankers out there and stick you in stuff that has fees. And so go sit down with her. Her name is Teddy. She's the branch manager, 10 Mile branch, Horizon Credit Union, right? And so go in there, then connect up your Venmo account to it, and away you go. You got a business, right? And take my course so that you do the business structure right and the tax man doesn't come and steal all your money. And away you go. And from there, come to a Do Work event, meet other people, and the other business owners in the room will take you under their wing. They won't take advantage of you because no lawyers are allowed in my meetings. And they're going to take you under their wing and teach you how to run a business properly. So, if I don't have the time to do it or I'm not available, I'm going to be fishing in Alaska next week. But there's still going to be 100 people at the event. Come down to one of those to one of our events and meet people that are business owners and ask them what you should do next. But
right, because they've all been through it. They've all done it, right? So,
right.
And then
make money.
become a Mikitish millionaire, right?
That's right.
Yeah. That's great. I'm glad to hear that we already have a network going because of Rondi Lambeth, and that brings us all to that brings you and I together, which is cool. This will be out there for people to watch. I'm going to share this in a bunch of places, and I want to thank you for your time, spending your time with me and coming here and telling me all about your business. My interest is piqued. I think that I will be there, and we'll see what it's all about, and maybe we'll do a follow up after we've made some, networking progress for my business.
Right.
Yeah, so that's that. You're leaving to go fishing in Alaska, which is awesome. I wish you the best of luck. I wish I was going to be there. I would love to be fishing in Alaska too. Anyway, so Joe, it was a pleasure meeting you finally. Thanks for coming on and talk to us. We'll put all your stuff down here so people can see it, and we'll see you at a meeting. Not this next one because you'll be fishing though, right?
That's right. Leaving next week, but yeah, on the one at Spurwing, fourth Wednesday of the month. Come on out, man. You've got a listing out there already.
Cool. Yeah.
Good opportunity.
Yeah. That sounds good to me. I'll that one's not the 9th. You said that is
the fourth Wednesday of the month at 5:30 p.m. at the club at Spurwing.
The fourth Wednesday. Okay, you have a calendar on here, which is really cool. So the fourth Wednesday. Oh, it doesn't say where on here.
Blue Collar Connect. We will have that updated here.
Okay.
When the event gets scheduled with Spurwing, but it will be at Spurwing. They just have to post it on their site.
Awesome. Awesome. Yep. Cool. Well, I'm going to put that in my calendar. So thanks again. I appreciate you. Don't click off, and we'll talk to you all next week.